You can run it with all your main sort of models, right? The main one I would probably focus on if I was you, if you're testing this out, is just using the free Ollama, as you can see over here. Any bugs or anything like that, just go over to Claude Code and say, can you help me fix this? Or this isn't working, blah, blah, blah. That's what I did when I had a couple of problems with it setting up. But literally got it set within about, I would say 10 to 15 minutes, and it was pretty simple. Now you can add MCP clients over here, right? Which means that you can link this to tools just by pasting in the MCP details over here with your API keys. And that means that basically you can make this even more powerful by linking it to tools externally, and then your autonomous AI agent with CoPaw can go off and start doing stuff. And the other thing that I would say here is like, it doesn't break on me as much as something like OpenClaw. And I'll give you an example, like a real cool example from today. So for example, with OpenClaw here, we've already updated to the latest version, but it's still got a notification to update at the top, which doesn't make sense if we're already updated, right? We're already on the latest version. So just something to be aware of there. Now, the other thing that I like as well is that you see on this section here, you can add multiple chats, right? Which means that you can have parallel agents working on multiple different tasks at the same time. So for example, we could say, okay, code a Pomodoro timer over here, right? Then we could go over to this chat and we could say, okay, code a fun snake game, right? Something like that, right? And then we can have multiple chats running with the AI agent, and just they're all working in parallel together, right? That's a pretty simple and easy way to just have multiple chats working, so that you can have these agents working in parallel, and you can have different stuff running at the same time. Now, let's have a look inside the chat here, see what we got. I'm gonna come back to these questions actually in a second. So we focus on this particular update. Now you can see we have multiple sessions running here. So you can switch between sessions. You can set up scheduled tasks just like you would with OpenClaw. You've got the heartbeat file, which basically is like, this will send you updates, right? So every few hours you can get updates, and you can change the interval. So you can say, okay, update me every hour or something like that. And then you've got sessions and channels, right? So with the channels, you can actually link this to Discord. I couldn't see an option for Telegram, but you can link it to Discord, QQ, a couple of other Chinese messaging apps, but probably the main one that most people watching this would use is Discord. But you can use the UI, right? And that's basically how it works. So you just put in the chat here what you want to do. Because it's using Ollama, it's obviously going to be a little bit slower, but you can see it does actually work, and it does work directly here. So that's basically how to use it. It's pretty simple to set up. Would I say it's as good as something like OpenClaw? Probably not. It was a little bit buggy when it was using browser control, whereas browser control seems to work fine if you're using something like OpenClaw. But I think either way, it's just interesting to test these alternatives out. And the overall trend here is like, things are becoming more autonomous, more agents are being released. Alibaba is obviously taking this seriously, because you can see how it's working. And then you can also see here that we've created this Pomodoro timer, right? Using the local API from Ollama. So it didn't cost us anything to set that up as well, which is pretty cool. Now let's just have a little preview of it. So yeah, that's how the page looks like. Pretty simple and easy to set up. And then we've got the timer ready to go here, right? So this is the Pomodoro timer we just asked CoPaw to create, which you can see right here. It's working perfectly. Pretty interesting design. Pretty cool. It's got an alarm as well at the top, and then you can reset the timer as well. And then you actually get like a streak at the bottom, so you can track how many sessions you've done. So it's all working fine. It seems to create stuff pretty cool. The one of the biggest differences I think is like, you get the chat option, so you can come back to your history and that sort of thing. And then also, it just seems a lot easier to configure, because you can switch between APIs and the settings. So that just makes it a lot easier, as you can see. Now, just to recap here, we do have like a 30-day system for building AI agents with CoPaw inside the video notes from today, inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And you might be wondering, okay, what is CoPaw? Why does it actually matter? So it's an open source AI agent built by Alibaba's Tongyi Lab team, right? It was fully open sourced on February the 28th.